Okay, people, this is Kyle, aka the Darkhorse, coming at you, cold chilling with my penguin, about to teach you guys about the nervous system and what it is and why it's relative to your fitness routine and the routine you're trying to build. It is essentially the part of your body that ties into your brain, which sends a message to your muscle in order to activate it and make it work. So if in order to do this motion, I have to send a message from my brain through my nervous system into my finger in order to perform this movement. And it's very similar to the brain in how it learns and how you have to teach it to learn. Like, we've all heard about people going through a leg break or something like that, then they have to go to physical therapy in order to relearn how to use that leg. It's a lot like how when you're going to a math class, you're more likely you're better at doing math than you are, let's say, down the line. Or if you go up to a 40-year-old and you ask them, hey, can you do this math equation real quick, they're like, what the fuck? Yes, that is how it works. And a key principle to this is that all your body is connected together. A big, I wouldn't say it's a problem, but it's a big idea that a lot of people have, where your mind is separate from your body. No, your mind is directly tied into your body. The bottom of your foot is connected to the top of your head. You know, all these things work together. Mentally you're connected to your physicality. Physic, physic, physicality. You know what I mean. That means if your brain can forget, your nervous system can forget as well. And this is what causes a lot of muscular imbalances that lead to back, hip, shoulder, knee, hip. Did I say hip already? I'll do hip twice for the ladies. Anyways, that's what causes it, is muscular imbalance. And you have to teach your body how to reuse certain muscles. Because let's say, I play a lot of video games. I've played a lot of video games in the past. So my back isn't completely functional like it should be. There are certain muscles in my back that if I don't use, well, I haven't used them because I've been playing so much video games, and when you're playing a video game, you're slouched over like this, and your back's all the muscles in your back are kind of turned off. And eventually, your nervous system will just completely forget about those muscles and they will turn off, and you won't be able to activate those muscles. If you ever gone to lift something or lift something really heavy and you start to shake, that's what that is. That's your nervous system. It doesn't have the support it needs in order to support that weight. So your body will start, really shaking, and that's the nervous system kind of going, what the fuck are you doing? I haven't done this in so long. It's like that 40-year-old trying to do math. In order to get and maintain a healthy nervous system, or undo some of the imbalances that you may have, it's going to take a lot of mental effort. In other words, you'll see a lot of people in the gym, if they're doing a pull motion, a lot of guys will go like this when they pull, and you'll see their shoulders shrug up. That's not supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen when you're pulling is you're supposed to be tight in the back, and your shoulders aren't supposed to be moving at all. You aren't supposed to be shrugging when you're pulling. And in order to get your body where, well, I've worked on that for a while personally, because I had that problem when I first started, and I would pull and I would be going like this. And what I had to do is I really had to cognitively think about, okay, keep your shoulders drawn down, keep your chest puffed out, and pull. Because what I'm doing then is I'm using the correct muscles in order to perform that movement. A lot of people, when they're performing a movement, they're not using the correct muscles. And the correct muscles that are supposed to be stabilizing, they're not stabilizing. So if I'm going like this and I'm pulling, what I'm doing is I'm bringing a lot of muscles into play that don't need to be into play in a movement. Really, when I'm pulling, I just really want to be using my back, my lats, my thoracic to support my back, and then my biceps in order to pull. And the movement comes from the back. So you have to really focus on that movement first. And that movement's really hard for a lot of people, because in our society, you sit down, you watch TV a lot, you're bound to slouch over and you're bound to turn those muscles off. And that's a lot of the reason people will say, deadlift's a bad motion. Well, deadlift's not a bad motion. It's just you're not performing it correctly. You're not correctly performing it. Because a lot of people, if you go to deadlift, and you don't have the correct back support you need, what you're gonna do is you're gonna slouch over and your back's gonna round, and you're gonna go like this, and then you're putting a lot of pressure right down here on L5, which is infamous for people injuring themselves in that way. But if I have the correct support up here and I go to deadlift and I do it, I'm performing the movement correctly in a manner that, you know, isn't going to injure me in the long run. And that's what's most important. That's why you're going into the gym. You know, it's not all to look good, it's also so you're healthy. You're healthy later on down the line when you're old. I mean, you see a lot of old people, they just walk around and they're like this normally, you know, slouched over. And I don't want to be one of those old people. I don't think you guys do either. And one way to really blast through these problems and these issues is stretching your muscles that are tight. So I'm slouched over, right? Muscles in my back are weak. My pecs, they're supporting pretty much all of my weight on my body. Right in here, my pecs, my front delt, my delt. You know what I mean? The muscle right in here. I can't fucking think of the name of it right now. Fuck it. Those are overdeveloped. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to stretch out those muscles. I'm gonna have to perform a pectoral stretch and really stretch out this region. That way I don't injure my shoulder or anything like that. You'll hear a lot of people, if they go, you know, every day, they do bench press or they do bicep curls, what happens is that further facilitates the rounding of the back and the strengthening of right in here, and they'll become even more imbalanced. And then they'll go one day to do a heavy lift, and it'll just shred it. It'll just tear. And that's what causes that. And that's my video for today. I'll see you guys the fuck out there. Get out there and do something important, alright, people?